Hi guys, how are you? You're not missing me that much, right? You've seen us so much lately on YouTube. So, okay, today I want to make a comparison between, let's say, the different kind of relationships between in the West and in the East, from my personal experience. So, I kind of came into conclusion that there's, let's say, three categories of a relationship that you observe in the Western world and also in the Eastern world. And let's talk about them. And I would love to actually hear your input on that. So the first type of a relationship, I call it the provider and the dependent relationship. What does that mean? The provider and the dependent relationship. That means here the man is playing the role of provider, and he's the one who is taking care of the money, the finance, and the work and everything else. Whereas the woman is the one who is responsible about looking after the kids and taking care of the house and looking after herself and shopping so much. And this type of relationship, it doesn't really have a balance because it goes in two extremes. You have someone who is very, let's say, the man is very masculine and the woman is very, very feminine. And you find that type of relationship, if you looked in the, let's say, Western, the Eastern world, mostly in the Middle East and East Europe. So if you go to, Syria, Lebanon, any Arabic countries, including, let's say, Russia, Ukraine, you would see this type of relationship all the time. You see the man is very tough and masculine and he protecting his wife, his woman, and the woman is very soft, very feminine and very colorful, and she like to go shopping and make up. So that's the first type of relationship. What makes this relationship works is that there is this polarity of attraction between masculinity and femininity. That's the first type of relationship. Now, would I say this is let's say, a good relationship? I don't know. Some people like it, some men like it, some women like it. It depends actually on the culture you grew up. But I wouldn't go into that type of relationship. I will tell you about my type of relationship in the third one. Okay, now let's move to the next, let's say, type of relationship that I have observed around me, which is, I call it let's say, the me and you relationship. What does that mean? It means like, the partners, the man and the woman, are equally sharing the tasks and doing everything in equal. So you see that actually in Europe, in Scandinavian countries. Let's say like a man go to works, a woman will, let's say, do something at home. Or if a man buys something, a woman will do something in return. There is always this kind of give and take relationship. I do this and you do that. And that relationship actually, it works, because it's kind of, you are forming a company. You are like in a managing a company. It, so it's good to make, let's say, children and to create a family. But my, let's say, the only downside about this, there's no passion, because at some point the relationship becomes just delivering tasks. There's no like a strong passion between the two. But actually, it's kind of better than the first type, I would say. It works better because there's an equal between a man and a woman. But at some point, the passion fades away in the future. That is my opinion. Now, the third type of a relationship, that one only exists, let's say, 1% in the whole universe. 1% you see that. And actually, it's very rare. Like, the people who I have seen, let's say, living this type of relationship, they're quite rare. I can count them on my fingers. So that relationship I call is the one and everything relationship. The one and everything relationship. So, what does that mean? It means both the man and the woman are both, let's say, dancing on the moment or the rhythm of their relationship. That means the man is not being the provider all the time, and the woman is not being the person who's always looking after the house. The man is not being the, the masculine all the time, and the woman is not being the feminine all the time. They are both contains the two elements of masculinity and femininity. The man is purely masculine and purely feminine, and the woman is purely masculine and purely feminine. And they are both dancing on that rhythm. That means, depends on the moment, they will activate specific part of them. Let's say if the woman, she's having a difficult time, the man in that point, he will activate, let's say, the feminine part, the listening part. He would listen to her. Let's say the woman cannot make a decision. The man in this situation will go and activate the masculine part, which help her to make and to take responsibility and to make a decision. And usually you don't find this type of relationship because there is always this missing part. The woman either like too masculine or too feminine, or the man is, either feminine or masculine. You are both have to contain that two elements. And then the relationship actually transform to something, I would say, companionship. And you are both starting to learn from each other, and you are coaching each other's, and it becomes like more enjoyable. There's more passion, there's more let's say, even learning. But unfortunately, men don't have the ability to develop this side, the second side, the feminine side. Most men are very good about, being very masculine. And at the same for a woman. Sometimes the women have difficulty to develop the masculine side, or sometimes they go to the extreme. They become too masculine, or they become too feminine. So they find a bit difficulty to bring the balance, and that is a matter of practice. Now, let's talk about how do you let's say, bring more masculinity to your life, and how do you bring more femininity to your life. So to bring more masculinity is by telling the truth, by being responsible, by making decisions, by speaking up your mind. This is all like, masculine traits. Both women and man has to learn that. And the same, how do you develop the feminine side of you, is simply by being more sensitive to your partner, listening more, um, by expressing your emotions, and be more considerate. There's many elements, but both partners, both of you, need to learn these two sides to kind of reach this harmonic relationship. Um, I will illustrate to you in a very simple, actually, metaphoric example. To make you understand the masculinity and the femininity and which one is more powerful, you would be surprised. So imagine there is a sea, right? And that sea, it's very, let's say, the ocean. I would say the ocean is very deep, and the sea is sometimes is very calm, sometimes is very, there's the waves is very high. It's unpredictable. When you look at the sea, there is always unpredictability. If you go much deeper in the ocean, there is darkness, and there is depth in it. Now imagine there is a ship on that sea. That ship, inside the ship, there is a sailor. That sailor wants to go from point A to point Z. Let's say he want to go from one island to the second island. So in order for that sailor to, let's say, travel in that ship from one island to other island, that sailor has to be very good at communicating with the water, at dancing with the wave. He has to be a very good leader. He has to be a very good, knows how to make the right decisions. Otherwise, that ocean will swallow this ship and he will sink in the ocean because he is not a good sailor. Now, the water here, the ocean, is the feminine energy, I would call it. And the boat and the sailor is the masculine energy. Now, who is more powerful, the feminine energy or the masculine energy? It is the feminine energy, the most powerful and healing form in the universe.